Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another live session with Paintology by Produce. And I'm going to take you through a drawing that I'm going to do in this live session. So, the idea, for those of you who are joining or new to this live stream, will know that the technique of digital drawing, excuse me, the technique of digital drawing is actually different to the majority of people who use digital applications and they make heavy use of digital tools. And I sort of show a way of drawing on the digital medium, which is much more akin to drawing in traditional. That is basically making use of simple tools like the brush and use the opacity settings of the brush in order to achieve, pretty impressive drawings. Like, for example, this one I did when I completed the lion drawn in this landscape mode. It was one of the live streams. Okay, and then this was done on the phone. And for example, another one which I want to show you. Let me find it. Okay, for example, this one. This was done in landscape mode. You can see how I bring about the colors from the actual original reference image. So drawing with the reference image in mind or copying is a very critical component of your learning skills in drawing and painting. It's something all great artists do and continue to do so during their lifetime. And because it rapidly allows you to bring your skills to the level that you want to achieve, which is essentially the object in front of you or a reference image or even something in your imagination. Yeah. So it's very important that you don't listen to all these naysayers who say shouldn't be using the trace mode drawing, that's cheating. These are people who probably never drawn or never draw in their lives. And there are people who are simply at the beginning or very early stage in their drawing because they don't know what they're talking about. So the skills the why is Paintology different? No, not like any other digital apps. Keep that in mind. The other digital apps put an app together, throw a bunch of tools, and that's it. They're not going to follow up on your how much you've learned, how much you've achieved, what you've done. Paintology has been designed that with that in mind. Its pure aim is to make you a better artist using the simplicity of tools and also bridge the gap between a traditional medium and the digital medium. The digital medium takes on a whole new facade, and the reason why it takes on a whole new facade is because of the way it's used. It's got you can read a very good post that I've written on the evolution of the digital medium, and you will see that the digital medium followed a trend and continues to follow this trend, not based on the fact that a lot of traditional art, it doesn't cater to the traditional art. The reason why it doesn't cater to the traditional art, it was based off the explosion of the World Wide Web and the internet, where there was a demand for brochures, illustrations, graphics, online logos, and Photoshop became a prominent application. And then people started attaching Wacom tablets, other digitized tablets in order to draw, and they think digital art is primarily done this way. That's completely untrue. It's a complete myth, and I'm going to break it down. And I already have, proving that you don't need digital tools to make good traditional artwork. And I happen to be a very advanced user of Photoshop, but I don't use it for drawing. pleasure of drawing for me is from having drawn in the traditional medium using acrylics, charcoal, watercolors, you name it. I bring those skills to bear in the digital medium. Hence, the reason why I created this Paintology app. I do not come from a traditional art background. I don't have any formal training in art, but I have developed the skills which have taken it far ahead of majority of people in applying traditional skills to the Paintology app. And it just so happens that I have this is my app, this is the app that I own and I develop, and it's gone through like 60 iterations. Yeah. So that when you have a product that is based for that is designed for artists, made by an artist who is good in art, you have probably something quite good, right? So anyway, I won't go any further. You can decide for yourself. So let me show you a few resources quickly. And like, for example, this my artworks are here. You can see many artworks I've done. For example, this one 3-4 years ago. You see, it's like photographic, photorealistic. So there's many examples of that, and most people cannot tell whether my artwork was done. This was done on the phone, whether it was done using digital or non-digital. And the reason is I don't use digital tools like majority do, and I can draw much faster than a typical digital artist who go and to let's think about let me give you an example. Let's say that I mean I want to put more focus on the artwork itself, and let's say that I'm constantly seeking the color tools by, let's say the total strokes I applied to this particular drawing is about 10,000 strokes, right? Drawing strokes of my stylus or finger. And then out of that, if I had to access the color palette or the gray color, you can see how the gray color tone right on the right side. If I had to access the gray tone like most other apps, and they're not designed by artists, keep that in mind. You have to go 2-3 steps into to accessing the gray tone. Think about it. Out of that 10,000, and if you needed to access the gray tone, maybe like hundreds of times. Let's say like 2,000 of those strokes is used up trying to access those tools, whereas in this case, it's right there on your fingertip. Let's say if you want to access blurring tools, another 2 steps, another a blending tool, another auto correction, another or layers, 3,000 goes there. So you're actually putting half or less of that effort into your drawing, and the rest is accessing tools. And I'll show you that where you can make rapid skills, and that's why I'm a lot faster than other artists, digital art. I mean, they wouldn't first of all know it's digital art in the first place, so they're not going to be able to decide. So if they knew it was digital art, then they'll start talking about it more. But since you're here on this channel, you want to learn about the techniques I'm going to show you, yeah? So a few things first. Let me go to this one here. So this reference image is available from the paintology.com, and then click on a link just below on the homepage, just below the video, and you'll come to this page, the YouTube live stream, and then you'll see a reference image here. Yeah, this is the image that we're going to try and replicate on our phone. And the way I typically draw, as most of you probably know, is I simply use this method of drawing. Yeah, a phone. So I've got my Note 10 phone and I'm using a stylus, but I can make pretty impressive drawings just with the finger as well, so you can too. But if you're serious, the reason why you're here is probably you're serious about achieving some of the aims and art techniques that I'm going to show you, then it's probably worthwhile investing in a stylus. They're very cheap. You don't have to find something that exactly matches your phone. Find something that's just comfortable, easy to hold, and you can draw on your phone. I've made very good drawings with phone or without, with a stylus or without stylus, so you can do the same. So that's where and then the other item I want to mention is, for those of you who are really keen, I want you to also show you, those who want to learn, this particular Google Classroom. You'll find a link in the description of any of the YouTube videos that I've posted. And then this is a structured, it's been designed to allow newcomers to grasp the fundamentals of art through using the Paintology app. Just remember, I'm not teaching you about the tools of the app and how the app somehow makes you a magical artist. I'm teaching you about the core skills, the fundamentals of art that are taught at art schools, anywhere in art schools. Tones and values, shapes, form, perspective, you name it, colors, everything. Now, the problem is that most of the artists are not haven't woken up to the possibilities of digital. And like I've told you earlier, I have a technological background plus an artistic mindset. Therefore, I can couple both together, and therefore, I've taken digital art to a whole new direction, which you can learn from, and it's not relying on tools. So it's teaching you core skills that you can transfer to any art medium. That's the way digital art should be treated. And the reason it has gone on a path of its own, separate from traditional mediums, is only because of the way it's been used and the way it has evolved. So now you realize the possibilities of digital drawing. Let's now head back to our app. So this is the app. It's open in the drawing canvas. On the left and right, you can see the color bar. It's completely accessible from the same screen. I've got this in landscape mode. So this is a drawing I'm going to make in landscape mode. And so this particular drawing is this one that I'm going to, let me see, I don't have it actually loaded. So I'm going to go back to the place where I downloaded them. So also Quora is one of the areas you should check out, paintology.quora.com. Okay, so let's go. That's not it either. I'm gonna go here. Okay, so this is the reference here. I'm gonna open up the reference image and just download the image. Okay, so it's downloading, and I'm going to go into that. So you can load any image you so wish to do block coloring, which is a very important technique for developing your own awareness, understanding through practice of terms and values. You know, the very thing that's talked about all over the internet regarding how to get better in drawing, developing tones and shades, and you've probably seen it in pencil drawing. But when it comes to digital, it's far more superior and versatile. And it's the reason why I can make all those drawings as I showed you earlier, okay? So you can do the same. So I picked this drawing again. It's actually a repeat of a drawing that I did a while ago, maybe when I first started streaming 2 months ago. And the reason I picked this, I was doing it in portrait mode, so I drew this in portrait mode. And I can actually show you this drawing that I did. It's quite interesting. Let me show you here. So you can see here, I've got the early YouTube stream. Sorry, it doesn't rotate to the landscape. I don't know, some maps insist on maintaining portrait mode. So here, this was the one. Can you see it? I think you have to bend your head a little bit to see this. This is the actual finger drawing on your phone that I made, and then turned out to be quite impressive. So you can check that out. That's on the live stream of the channel. And remember, I also have two channels. One is the Paintology and the other one is the Produce channel. So let's go back. And I'm going to, and it's also very interesting why I want to repeat this sunset drawing. It's because while I've been doing the live stream, would you believe I have seen the rapid progress in the way I do blending and improving the techniques that I'm showing you. And even though I was okay, not bad, I have, in my opinion, in the space of 2 months, showing you these live stream has allowed me to increase the. So you have to understand people with exceptional skills, that I'm not claiming that I have exceptional skills. They always are open to possibilities, and that's the reason why they can take a skill to an exceptionally high level. I have taken my electronics degree to a high level, and I have a PhD, so anyone can achieve it if they so wish. So this is really the same thing applies to art. How far do you want to go? If you won't go by the path of the majority, which is using digital tools, you will come at a point in time where you will hit the ceiling, where you will hit the limit. And I can explain that in clear words why that is. I'll give you a clear example of that. Is when I posed the question on Quora on this on a why photorealism drawing is not really popular in digital. They said they came back. One of them, Purse woman, kindly came back, said it's because it's a photo. And I was wondering, what does she mean it's a photo? And I think what she meant by it was that photo means it's too pure. It's like, I can always tell digital art from photos. I don't know about you, but a real photo is a mishmash of tones, thousands of tones, millions of tones, whereas a digital art looks perfect. The lines are perfectly smooth. The blending is smooth, so it gives away the fact that it's digital art. It's animated 3D. You can always tell. It's getting better on 3D animation right now. That's because of the powerful rendering they have. But that's what it is. And then she gave an example. She said, when I do digital art, and she does traditional as well, she says at the end, I have to always tweak something. Like, for example, with my children's well, my child that I drew digitally, I had to tweak the hair so it looked a bit ruffled, and I had to tweak the nose and put some bits on her toenails. And I'm thinking, really? And then I was asked her, posed the question, why do you do it manually in the first place? And then, unfortunately, I never got a response. And that means that they are so heavily reliant on the tools, and they get to a point in time where they need to readjust it to make it look natural. I've got I've got a lot of answers that I've done on digital and breaking down the myth of digital drawing, and you'll find that in Quora, paintology.quora.com, or you could go to my actual profile of Quora and see over the 1,500 questions I've answered related to digital drawing. So let's not waste any more time and let's go ahead. I'm going to follow the same techniques I've learned that I've done in the previous. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 20% brush, and then I have this drawing image loaded here like this, and the idea is that we're going to make this reference image close to our original drawing. Our drawing exists in this bottom half, so that means the color picker will pick the colors of our drawing, and then this we'll pick the colors. At this half, we'll pick the colors of the reference image. So let me show you. I pick a color there. That's black. This will be a little pale yellow or something. And this is a darker. And the sun will be white. And then this black here. Can you see the colors? The white was because it disappeared into the background of the white, wasn't it? So we can first use this color picker, and I'm going to go and pick the color picker and then lay down the first sets of colors. Right, just lay down the first sets of colors, avoiding the tree, because we know that we're going to do the tree afterwards. In fact, you should basically go through the tree, because there are bits of the colors here, can you see it, that follows the sky color. So we don't want to go through that again. So I'm going to go through instead of trying to avoid, because it's not a full tree, full shaded tree, because there are bits of elements of, okay, there are elements of the sky seeping through those leaves, isn't it? So okay, just go through this. This is when you're doing a landscape, this is how you typically do it. And remember, what I'm doing is that since I've borrowed much of the philosophy of traditional techniques, you can see this is something that which many artists will do actually. When you see a painting done by artists, what do you normally see? Well, you see them laying down some bulk colors, a mishmash of colors. Even Bob Ross did that, the great Bob Ross, right? He would put down the first layers of colors. Okay. Depending where you are, you're going to pick the black color. Because if I pick that black color, because I've landed on that plant, then I would have dragged that black color, because I'm picking the color tone exactly where my stylus lands. So, which means I'm going to have to pick the background, the background color of the sky, right? So I'm taking it from here and going back there, taking it from here, going back there. See what I'm doing? There. I would probably want to compare this drawing after I've done it with the one that I did a couple of months ago when I first started drawing and sharing live streaming. This will give me an idea of the techniques that I've changed and allow me to improve the techniques for the sake of teaching the folks who want to learn, right? So these are art techniques. Everyone's got a unique way of doing art, right? But when you come across digital drawing, you will see that many people gravitate to one or two apps, right? And nothing more. And the reason they do that is because everyone is talking about, oh wow, this blending tool, these layers have improved my drawing. I can do this anime, and they usually find themselves doing typically the same genre style of drawing, which is anime. This is in the academic world is called fine art, right? So fine art is anything, any subject, and it's what you see in all the traditional artists produce in general. Impressionism, Expressionism, and we're talking about abstract and pointillism, you name it. It's all the art style that. So this is a fine art, okay? So let's see what we have here. We've laid down the first colors. Now, why are these the lighter tones there? Makes sense that this light tone here is because the sun happens to be there, and therefore there's light tones. So if we were to be clever enough and say, you know what, I want this light tones to stretch. Oops, here, color picker. I'm going to pick just that tone that's actually happening behind those tree lines, yeah? So I'm going to again pick that color tone and then go back, and then I'm going to go just do the same thing. Pick that color tone here, and then just, okay, so I didn't have the, because remember I dragged a lot this color tone all the way, and then it probably is not accurate. So you need to get some of the tones like understood, that the tones change. See, you're becoming already more tuned into the tones, yeah? And that's what the importance of doing good tonal drawings and painting. Everything is about tones, honestly. And I think you probably have heard of many artists now go on and on about tones. And there's very good reasons for that. And I'm showing you this in practice. You don't have to, using the same brush to lay down that land foreground. So you do the same as well, right there. Just laying down the first. This is not a practice on where you need to do real art and watch me producing a piece of art from thin air, because I don't think you'll want to sit through the whole one 1.5 hours watching me making a drawing, because if you that's why there are many videos that are speeded up for you to look at if you just simply want to watch the process rather than do it. These are made for people who want to learn, okay? So you can learn the techniques and styles that I use. So this is what I have right now. Let's save this. So always save your drawing, because remember, you don't have to do a drawing in one sitting. You can save it, pull it up from my paintings. Okay, it's very simple. Now where are we? Okay, so have we got the tones that we're looking for? If not, we could probably just go over it again and see if we've got the tones by operating in a different understanding where the sun is, and then just doing a bit more around that sun and then keeping our strokes minimal, right? So we can do that, right? Why not, right? And then especially around the area where the sun is, yeah? So that's all I'm doing, is making sure I get some of the tones, not the broad tones. See this tone that I picked from the bottom? It means, okay, look at that tone, how it changes. It's okay. So I'm just picking the tones to see if they're roughly, that's similar to what we picked. Remember, these tones that we picked are in a horizontal stroke, but now I'm seeing tonal gradients going on here, and I'm just trying to flesh it out, that's all. So what that means is that I'm just making sure that the tones that I'm seeing, I'm trying to put down on my canvas. Here, look here. So look what's here. If I take it from here, it's light. But if I take it from the left edge, look what happens. It's dark, isn't it? So that means there are tonal gradients going on. So I'm just going to do that and go like this. So I'm trying to replicate the tonal gradients and keep it. Instead of doing the sweeping stroke you saw me, I'm simply localizing my strokes so that it more matches the overall tone. Look at this here behind this tree as well, yeah? like that. And then here, color picker, there, okay? And now, okay, what have we got? We got behind the tree, so we assume that the tones just stretch horizontally and then fall down to the horizon. But it's not true, right? You've seen how the tonal variations change just by using the color picker. So what we're going to do now, let's save this. What we will do now is we will try and get close to that sun and then make sure, because that's the center of focus, right? So let's pick a brush 10%. Usually the rule of thumb is I start from 20% and I gradually lower the brush size. So I got this brush and this. I'm just defining the tones that are so wonderfully close to the, and then you can see through the halfway point that some of these clouds will mask the overall background tones, which is fine. We don't have to worry about that. We will capture that. You see how it got darker towards here. Right there. See it? These clouds are darker clouds there. Right. No, I'm trying to use more of my thinking process as I do this. Before I used to just do it in one sweeping stroke, but now I'm thinking more about why I'm doing it in the way I'm doing it so I can explain it better for you, right? So let's see. So we got this, and now what we can do is we can say, let's try and grab use the shade brush and just diffuse that tones. And how do we do that? Yeah, with the shade brush, as I've explained. The shade, right? And then we keep it 100%, nothing different. And then we take it up, say 14%. And then let's pick that tone here. And then let's just draw and see what happens. And I'll show you what happens. It's marvelous. You'll be like surprised with how it diffuses. You see it? Wonderfully diffused, right? And then same wherever you see these edges, right? That's all we're doing. So we're trying to diffuse these areas, but while maintaining the overall gradient of the tones, right? And now here, pick the Jason color, and then we can look at the actual. That's it, how it's the gradient. Dark color is now going. So just if you think that's going to be a light tone, just do it near the sun. I'm obviously just keeping to a brighter tone, and then I'm also aware that the sun's there, so my strokes are hence in a very circular. Can you see that? That's because we have this tone, we have this actual black tone that's going through there. So we run that because we're really low at the horizon. Yeah, and it's darker. It's a little darker, but not too dark. In fact, it is too dark, so I'm going to reduce that tone. Do you see how I did that? There. There. Okay. And then let's go and check the other tones. Right, let's go and do the bigger gradients here. See that gradient there? We're going to do that, and then we can increase the brush size, pick the tones and just diffuse it. Look at that, how beautifully diffuses. And then just let it go to the area, and then keep going down. Right, that's it. Lovely. And then pick a color, pick that color, and then let's diffuse that into that area. And then just experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment. So remember, it gets darker, so keep that in mind while you're doing this. Darker tones here. Keep that in mind. Just bear that in mind. Look how quickly we've done that, isn't it? It's amazing, isn't it? That's like how much blending is required there. So there's a down here. Okay, just here. Look at that. Perfect, isn't it? Look how I've blended that, isn't it? It's wonderful, but there is still that area here. Okay, sorry, area here. Can you see it? So we're going to try and diffuse that, but not just yet. Let me save this. And I'm going to do something where I go back to my paintings on the home page. And then open up my paintings and then reopen it where it says, yeah. So I got the painting that I want. So it's something I'm doing because I'm working with a prototype of the app. So ignore, the fact that I do that, but I'm doing that because I'm working on a prototype app of the next release version. Oh, by the way, there's a huge advance on our block coloring method in the next release, which will be probably coming up in a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks maybe. And so watch out for that. But in the meantime, the app you have has gone through 35 iterations. And so you are perfectly fine to use the app for all the drawings I've shown you. So let's see what we need to do. Let's look at our drawing. Did we capture most of that beautiful skyline that we have here? See how that's sort of rolling down like into a valley? We want to maybe capture some of that. So in order to do that, this is the beauty of the digital is that we can get close, almost 400%. And now what I can do is I can take that down, keep to the shade brush, and then pick the very colors that we want to. It's way too big, right? So we need to really take that down. I can look at that. Right? Just do that, and then I'm just trying something unique here, right? So this is something different than I wouldn't typically do, but I'm doing it because I have the ability to do it, right? Here, take it down even more. So again, it's part of the experimentation that I just really enjoy. Right there. And then what we have here, look at that beautiful black area, and then we could increase that, get that same streak, black streak. Right, let's see if we can, yes, we can get it back, black streak. And then what do we have here? We got that tone that we want to diffuse into it. So now that we got so close, and increase the brush size so we can work with the manageable area, and then just get it off. Right, and then even this area that we have here, I'm gonna That's the sun, actually. So it's up to you if you want to do the sun right now. But I'm going to try and blend the areas that I can see I can blend. And I'm just going to blend it, push this back. Right, this detail. So it's such a low, higher resolution. I can take it back. And then while I'm at the horizon, here, can you see? There, I can take this color and just work it here. Right, and then here, look at that color. It's a beautiful color here, purplish color. Can do that. We're at 5%, so we can get away with doing this. So this is blending at a higher resolution, yeah? So we can get down to the details where the sun is and make and give it more atmosphere, right? This is because the whole scene has got a nice atmosphere to it. This is behind the shrubs, so I'm just going to spend not too much time because the shrubs will obviously blank it out. Yeah, just enough. And then what do we have here? We've got a nice, beautiful orange streak, but that's being masked by this color on this side. So I'm going to do that. Nice, keep that orange streak. Okay. And then let's go. This is the power of the phone. And when anyone tells you you can't do much in a drawing on the phone, they're thinking 6-inch, exactly 6-inch. But when you have the zoom feature and the rotate, like I've shown you, like the Paintology uses, then it becomes a mighty A3 sheet paper, big canvas, large drawing canvas. All right, there. Just take that in there. Beautiful, right there. And then what we have here, the same color. So we can take this up a notch and get this done really quickly, right? The same color there. Right, let's see what we have. That's good, you know, the lower ground. Now, how are we going to do that bigger ground? Since we've got a bigger brush, see how that's more yellow here? Sort of a little bit yellow. You may not think, I'm seeing more of the yellow, so I'm going to increase that color and just take that and then increase it even more if you need to. So and remember, a lot of this is going to be masked. That's a real orange hue that's coming into play here. And then we have that beautiful, this color here. Now we've got a big brush, so be careful because we used a smaller brush to do that area and you don't want to undo all that work you just spent. They're just getting rid of that area. And then look at that beautiful sky there. And then take some of that red. Now you have to see what you're looking at. I'm looking at the very subtle variations going on here. Right. And I'm going to keep that. It's looking quite nice, isn't it? And now you can see there, up here, oops, make it darker. There, you can see there. That's something I need to fix. So let's take that out. And so I've got good size, maybe take it to 28%. Take that, just diffuse that. All right, nicely done, isn't it? And then you see that these very easily done. We're not too worried at the top, what's going on at the top, because it's not adding any character or detail to what's going on at the bottom, right? Which is near the horizon line. See that? How we've captured some of that skyline here. And then I think we've got a sky that we can work with, isn't it? Even though it's not necessarily the same, it's still a beautiful warm sky. And then here you can see on the left, there's some cracks of the paintbrush or the line brush we did. Very easy to fix. So we go here and then pick that color. Got a 24%, which is all right. Just simply blend it. All right, there. That's all there is to it. And then is there any other color? We've got the yellow that's going up here, happening here. So there. There, look at that beautiful sky, and leave some of that character that you can see around here, right? Leave some of that character, that adds character to the, and so we got the sky sort of done, and then let's see, we've got these shrubs we need to do, and so let's tackle that. So let's save this, let's save that. Okay, and I'm going to do what I do, which is go back and open that up again. You don't have to do that. You can continue the work as I'm going to show you. And now I've got this wonderful sky. It's changed, isn't it? Interesting. Was it different before? I don't know. It seems like it's changed a little bit. But anyway, we're going to do that. Do this tree. And how are we going to do that? I mean, it just makes total sense that these trees are a result of the brushes, right? So let's take a good look at these trees really close up. Look at that. Look at the details of that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Do you expect me to go through this tree following trace by trace? I'll show you how rapidly you can do this. Take this brush, go back to the line, and take it all the way down to manageable line space. And look what I do. Color. You know, do you see that? And then take it down even more. And then just basically basic color picker and just randomly follow the particular shape. No big deal. Trust me, it works. It's because I've done it enough times. Look, I'm picking the color all the time and just going through that. This is a good exercise. And then I'm going to show you there. Pick the color and then pick the color and then just work it your way, creating the shape, nothing different. And then occasionally pick the color so you have the color that, and make sure you land. Sometimes you'll find it's a hit or miss because you sometimes get the sky, but still, it's still creating the illusion of volume and shape here, which is one of the key things of drawing. Because that's what drawing tries to teach you, these methods. But now, until digital came into the picture like this, it's far easier to show you how to achieve these techniques now. I think Bob Ross would be quite pleased with me if he saw what I was doing. Okay, very quickly, just go. And then I got just the right size. Don't make it too thin because you'll be spending all day doing this. Look how rapidly I'm just trying to create a sense of the foliage in this tree, right? It's in a crisscross shape, nothing different. Right, crisscross. That's what I noticed when I did the first drawing. I'll leave these little tweaks, the twigs, look, the brush size too big for that. So I'll leave that for now and then just focus on getting the main, right, for that. And then if I have time, I'll just go through with a smaller thin brush, the fine brush, like Bob Ross would say, right? Okay, so very quickly, randomly, I'm not trying to, I'm just following, assuming the shape it's got, nothing more. Right, just assuming the shape, and then at the same time picking the color picker so I get the right tone. Okay, so all it is, and I'm not doing the center of it yet. I will do the areas of the center with a bit bigger brush stroke when I get there, but right now I'm just doing the outer areas so I can at least get the notion of an outline of the tree here. Okay, and then all the way across. We notice how the tones change at the tip here. And there's a good reason why it changes at the tip, because there's the leaves are now in a more of a reflected state because they're isolated, and so you get more of the light shining, bouncing off from the adjacent leaves and then making it a little less tony. Is that such a word? Less tonal. I should use that. Okay, there it is. So just go through that. So again, this is facing the sun. Have you noticed how the tonal value, and because you're using the color picker, you'll automatically pick the right tone. Okay, this is so important to tonal values, and it's the reason why I can make photorealistic drawing relatively easily, because when I'm drawing freehand, I'm much more attuned to the tones because I've been drawing like this, practicing, teaching, and showing the method of drawing. Look at that, these have changed completely different, and we can see what that looks like once we're okay. Actually, I'm a bit keen to see what the actual image looks like. Let's a look. Interesting, isn't it? Almost looks like some kind of a garland in a wedding reception or something. Maybe we could put that around the sun. Right, so we're going through it very quickly. In fact, I was using actually a bigger brush but the thing is, I want to apply the bigger brush when I get to it. But right now, and I think I completed that drawing in one sitting as well. It's quite surprising. Portrait mode. So you can go back to that drawing that I did originally, maybe like, 4 weeks ago or something, and then decide for yourself if I've improved or which one you prefer. Okay, there, crisscross mesh, so nothing complicated. Right, just trying to get the shape, nothing more. Just this crisscross shape. Okay. I can use this brush for these trunks now. So that's what I'm going to do. Lay down our first trunks. Okay. Okay, and then here, I'll get the exact tones of those trunks, right? Where are we? We've almost done an hour now. Usually I like to finish this in 1 hour. I hope you're following along with me because it's quite good fun, and I'd like to know that others are doing the same thing I'm doing. Then do please comment on how you felt and what you thought of the whole thing. You know, I'd like to have some positive feedback so I could improve or add more to this tutorial and then make it, because it's all designed for you. I'm not doing it for the purpose of doing my artwork. I mean, one benefit I get from this, which I told you, is I've improved my drawing techniques a lot because I don't do the same thing. Each drawing is so different from each other. Look at that. This tonal shade is different. Let's see what we got. Wow, isn't that amazing? Isn't it how it's coming together? And then let's just finish, not finish, but let's finish the bushes. That's what I meant to say, right? Because we got a pretty small brush. And I'm pretty sure in my other drawing I didn't have such a fine brush. I probably used 2%. This one is 1.2%. Makes a big difference, trust me. But it's coming together. I mean, you can see for yourself how it's coming together, isn't it? I must have decided the tree wasn't going to have such a fine line brush, and probably didn't add as much fine line brush. So you can take shortcuts, you know, you don't have to do all of this exactly as you can take a bigger brush and make it work like I did, you know, in the earlier drawing. So you can watch that. See, but with this, what I'm trying to do is capture more elements of this whole beautiful sunset and see if I can, you know, make it look my drawing as good as the. So here you can see here I'm gonna pick this color and increase the brush size, and look, just go over it quickly, no biggie. Pick the color, that's it, there, because it's a big area, isn't it? Even in areas just dotted around, just wherever you see some areas dotted around, just. This is what Bob Ross does, doesn't he? Okay, and now what we can do is we haven't, obviously the tree is falling off, so this particular area, so it's gonna crash if we don't, you know. So we haven't quite finished there, but let's finish the bushes all the way around. Right, okay. You know what, I'm going to save this again. I'm sorry, but I have to go again because it's a prototype, so my paintings and okay. So now we're going to go over here and do these areas. Take it back again. I haven't even touched the density, so now you can see that there's just this. I've just kept to one brush, and look how much you can achieve. We went to shade brush to do the blending, no other tools required. This is what many people don't understand, because they're not looking for techniques, they're looking for quick fixes. And when you look for quick fixes, you're going to get something that will solve your immediate problem, but in the long term, it's not going to stand the test of time, because you always come back, you'll always be limited. Right there you are. Look at that. Just quickly go through that. You can even look, that sun is like a mountain range, isn't it? Get close enough. Okay. And let's do this. Have we done this? Yes. Just go over it quickly. Just go over it. Pick the color tones, go over it quickly. Okay, let's see what we have. Oh yes, looking very nice, isn't it? So now we can go and say, this tree leaves are looking like it's going to fall over into the valley or whatever it is, and I'm going to add more substance to it. We need to, right? So let's take it down to 1.2%. Keep the brush size as it is. And let's go here. Then just add this. Okay, that's all we're doing. Look at that, even that is too small, but it's all right. As long as we create the illusion that this tree is not going to fall over on it by its own, I think we're good, right? Let's see what we got. See, just this massive scribble, that's all it is. You think we're going to do all that? You got it wrong, mate. So let's see what we have. Look at that, it's really dark, and it's really, the only thing I can see, it's really got more solidity. Right, so add that solidity. Stay to your drawing. Stay to your drawing. Add that solidity here. Seen that? This areas. So here we can take it down 50 and really cover this area. Taking it down, and let me just show you what's happening. Right, so I can actually get type of dark effect by dabbing over it a few times and make it darker in the areas that right there. So what I can do is I've still got some of that, the branches showing through, right? So let's take that down. So it's a different effect I'm doing with these trees. I'm just adding where there's more solid, beefing it up, if you can call it that. Right there. I could take it down a little bit. To give the tree a little bit more like it's got leaves and substance on it. And then the fact that we've already got some of the leaves, let's look. That's looking pretty good, isn't it? And then we can increase the color. Right, let's stay here, close to, and then let's just try to beef it up. The areas where the inside, that's the reason why I did the outside. It was a deliberate attempt. I'm going to stay in this here because I can see it more clearly. Just, I can see that. Can you see how I'm beefing it up, more giving it more volume? This is one of the subject areas of drawing. Again. Right there. Can you see I'm beefing it up? Don't overdo it. This is very similar to the styles that Bob Ross has shown us in. There, can you see it? It looks like same thing on this area here. And then if you're not getting the density, just increase it, okay? So all it is the crisscross shape right here. Right, look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's already looking photorealistic. Now, what have we got here? Now you can see that the land, it's a good idea to now go and do the rest of the area. Now I'll show you how the foreground is such a cinch to do. You'll be amazed. And then we'll end up doing, this is quite the right size, I think. Yes, a bit more density perhaps. Look how quickly that create the foreground here. Just check. With the form of a distant thing. If you've looked out, gazed at the, oops, gazed in this, look at that, it's beautiful. There, capturing all that detail. That looked like a hill, doesn't it? And we could have turned that into a hill, but I think we'll go with what the picture is telling us, right? Look at that. That's the sun, the back. That's we're gonna capture. Then we're gonna try and get that same color. Look at that, easy peasy, right? And do you think that was so hard, right? Not hard at all. Let's see what we've done. Perfect, isn't it? Beautiful scene. That is a perfect scene that's going on. And now what we're going to do is the foreground, and then we'll finish. Let me try and add a little bit of polish to that, so giving it the illusion that this is not a hill. Just right there. Why not, right? Okay, and then change the color tone. Change the density a little bit. Take it down. That's what. Make it dark, right? There. So it gives that there. Wonderful, isn't it? Yes. That sky is really alluring, isn't it? So again, now we're going to do the foreground. And to do this foreground, look at that. It's going to be so easy. And if you've been following my channel, live stream channel, you will know that foreground, that those things done really simply. Why? Because it's sandwiched between a higher tone level. And let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. This is what we have. We've laid down this. But if you go back, you see there's a slight variation. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to take that to a good percentage. Then if we use that, and then take this down just a tad, 70%. And what would I do? Oops. What should I do? Adjust. So that's actually, in my opinion, way too high density. So I'm going to take it down because I've already laid down the first, right? And I'm going to switch between this, and then I'm just going to give the illusion of color and a field. Take it up a bit, give the illusion. And see, it gives the illusion of a field. And what we have here, then we have this bit here. And then we can take it down even more. Well, we can do lots of things in this. You don't have to necessarily follow what. Well, look, giving the illusion of a foreground. Look how we're doing it. Because I'm beginning to understand how the tones work at this high threshold value. I'm applying it really effectively. That's what artists do. They want to give that illusion of a field. Could be a cornfield, you don't know, right? We don't know, but our eyes are just going to fill it. It's not going to try and too much thinking because it already knows that it's quite dark. That area is very dark. So let's see what we've got. Sometimes hard for me to tell which one is which. There, look at that. Just giving that illusion that something's happening. I think that works, isn't it? What do you think? That works nicely. And let's pick that black color and just give more marks to it here. Beautiful, isn't it? Just a wonderful, like, effect. It was a bit like the drawing I did of the clouds. Right now we're going to do the sky, the beautiful sunlit. That's the final. We left the best bit to the end, didn't we? The final bit, and that's it. We're done. So let's save this. And then we're going to move. Right, and then we're going to go to that wide, take it a line brush, small, take it high intensity, and then zoom in because I want to get that circle right, this beautiful circle. I want to get this right. So here, so I'm going to zoom in now. So I have a perfect. Look at that, beautiful. It's the best things left at the end, isn't it? My daughter and I we play a game where when the sandwich edges comes, we say, let's eat the edges and then leave the heaven, which is the middle, at the end, towards the end. And she has a habit of quoting that. So nice, yeah. Look at that. What have we got? Wow. I wonder how it's going to look Once we got that, and we can correct it if we need to, if it's not working out. Look at this red here. And then we can go here, and then just, oh, look at that size, man. Wow, we forgot that we were at a very high size. So I took it really high. Right there. But we can correct it when we're not to worry, right? So look, that's not our drawing, but this is ours. That's almost getting there. Yeah, we don't want like a spaceship coming from the back, right? We want to get this right. So let me save this. All right, this was really a fun exercise for me because again, I've learned something new all the time. Let's go back, save. Okay, and then open up my paintings. Again, the same drawing. Let's open it up. Go here. And then let's see what we have in our drawing. That let's try and play with this. Here, let's take that down. Take it a tad high, density down, and then we're going to merge this color with the color of the background. Yeah, that's all we're doing. That's it. That's all we're doing. And then we can pick this and merge this color so it looks like it's actually merged, right? And then what we have here, we want to merge this tone here, and then we take that down. Very easy to correct. Look at this one. Take it down even more. Look at that there. All right, and then some of it there. Right there. Then we have this red tone there. I think we've almost done it, isn't it? And then we have this wonderful white still going through here. So is there anything? No. This red here basically just encapsulate that sun. So we can increase that, not too much, because remember it's quite, we're zoomed in quite a bit. Look there. Do we have anything? Look at that ripple. How wonderful is that? Can we create that ripple? I mean, I'm going to try, but let's see. Let's see what we have now. See if that we can get away with believing that. I think that sun is believable, isn't it? Except for that ripple, I think we need. And then we've got this tone here that's diffuse that. So let's diffuse this area here so it doesn't look awkward. And then let's see what we have here there. Then let's just take that, diffuse that into that, giving that diffused look. Right there. I think we got something. Right, and I'm going to create that ripple, and then we'll call it a day. Wow, that's almost 1.5 hours. So let's get that down to maybe less than a percentage. And then let's take the high up, because it's like a tiny ripple of yellow. Look, so we're gonna take that down, take that up there. And what do we have here? See that ripple? Let's see what it looks like. Yep, I think we got away with that. That looks pretty good. And then I can see these tiny leaves that need some siblings next to it, right? Right, and then that's it. I think we'll call it a day and say, I think, to be honest with you, to summarize, I think I've improved. And definitely I can see it from here. So let's take that color, type in Paintology, and we're done. So I hope I've shown you how powerful this can truly be, you know, the power of the digital medium, which has exceptional power over traditional materials, but the traditional techniques come into being, which means homing in on what the tools can do. You're not master to the tools, you're not slave to the tools, you're a master of the tools. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and I look forward to another day live session, streaming session with you guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've learned something. Please do provide some feedback. Thank you until tomorrow. Bye bye.